Dun, dun, dun. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on this terrific Tuesday for what is going to be nothing short of another jam-packed daily market update. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to get into. Let's start things off by just addressing some of the, outrage or upset that's out there in regards to nothing actually coming out as of the time of recording from Trump in regards to executive orders related to the cryptocurrency space. Lots of people getting a little bit worried about this. I think the markets are quite volatile as a result of it all because people are in suspense in regards to some of the things that have been spoken about actually coming to fruition. Now, I happen to think they are going to follow through on lots of these things, but they take time. It's not going to happen instantly. There is this kind of syndrome that we suffer from in the cryptocurrency space that we want things now. You know, the price doesn't move now. Why is it not moving now? Well, actually, certainly speaking about my own portfolio, I've got a group of people, I know many of your portfolios. Something like Hedera, for example, is a great case of actually investing in something for the future and not expecting things to happen now. They don't expect when you want them to, but they eventually do. And Hedera, great example of it, making that 700% move from sort of 4 cents to where it currently is, and we're 100% up on multiple cryptos. You've got to see the bigger vision and bigger path forward. So I think to address some of the outrage, I think people just looking for something to talk about, as always, like myself right now. But it is something that I think is shrouding the cryptocurrency space. As people are thinking right now, okay, Trump's promised all of this. When are we actually going to see this come to fruition? And there hasn't been anything done as of right now. I know there's pardons and things going out, but there's been no kind of official, what would the right word be, sort of acts as it relates to crypto brought up as of yet. But there are lots of speculation. Trump expected orders could open banks to crypto. So this is obviously SARB 121, which is the bank accounting rule under the old SEC. They had it so that if you held crypto, it was a liability. It went against you, didn't make it appetizing to hold, whereas now they're looking to change that into an asset, and ultimately you'll see a flood of banks entering the cryptocurrency space. So this is something I think we will see happen. Obviously, Gary Gensler has officially resigned now. There was a statement put out on the back end of that. And I think it's Mark, is it Yusko, who's now, Yeda, I'm definitely saying that right, who's now acting as kind of replacement until Paul Atkins, sort of resumes the position of the SEC. We'll look at what he's previously said as it relates to crypto, as it relates to the prior SEC's sort of approach to crypto, because he is Bitcoin crypto friendly broadly. So I think there's a lot of angst. There's a lot of things going on. There's lots of kind of, speculation. We've been covering it obviously on Twitter, and we're covering it right now. And of course, our website, allincrypto.com, one of the fastest growing sort of websites in the world right now as it relates to crypto. So do get on board and keep up to date with allincrypto.com for news. Of course, we've got a number of writers. Bitcoin Magazine CEO David Bailey got confirmation that crypto-related EO, executive orders, are amongst the first 200 EOs that will be signed. But that hasn't happened yet. And I think people are a little bit outraged, a little bit upset. I think obviously on the back end of all of this, we've got what's going on with Trump's meme coin and Melina's meme coin. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of what they're doing there. That's just my own take. But I do think actually it could bring people into crypto. And we're all about that. And actually, more broadly, you're going to see a wave of other individuals look to do a similar thing. Certainly given the kind of money that Trump has raised from that. The Trump token, annoyingly, I will put forward my opinion there, got to like nearly top 10 in terms of market cap. That just goes to show how early we are as a space. This space is very early, but we're on a great trajectory. Obviously, when it comes to Bitcoin, you guys all know the drill on a weekly time frame. On the smaller time frames, and we very much kept people out of getting suckered into shorting the market on this smaller pattern. We said it's likely going to result in similar patterns, being this inverse head and shoulders pattern, this kind of almost ranging pattern that looks rather heavy at one point, that ultimately resulted in the exact opposite. And we think we're very much on the path with that today. And there's lots of great fundamental news that's still to come out, I believe, for crypto. We just haven't had that yet. And there's a bit of frustration, I think, towards all of that. And Bitcoin really just at the top part of this range. It will push through it eventually, in my opinion, in line with some of the broader targets that we have. And this kind of chop, I think, is all to do with dust settling in regards to Trump's inauguration and now his sort of entering into the role and executive orders that may or may not come out. And people are a little bit worried about this and perhaps want to see some confirmation of it. Markets don't like uncertainty, but generally markets are glass half full kind of apparatuses. Certainly S&P investors and market investors generally are glass half full kind of people. You know, and actually it pays to be that when it comes to the markets, given the kind of monetary system. So interesting. We don't really need to cover too much what's happening with the cryptocurrency space. I think actually one thing for me to dive into is sort of the totals, very much doing what you'd expect. Bitcoin broke out into a new all-time high, or the total crypto space, largely led by Bitcoin, broke out into new all-time highs and is just consolidating in and around there. It will push higher. We've shown you lots of examples of this. Total 2 just ran into all-time highs and is pulling back a little bit. Very sort of Vanex semiconductory before it went on a big run into new all-time high price discovery. This is all ahead for us, and there's going to be fundamental news, of course, that's going to accompany all of this. Now, this is Gary Gensler's resignation today. Is Chair Gary Gensler's final day at the Securities and Exchange Commission. Chair Gensler joined the Commission in 2021 with a lengthy career in the public sector or public service. He previously served as chairman of the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, the Under Secretary of the Treasury for Domestic Finance, the Assistant Secretary of the Treasury for Financial Markets, and as senior advisor of the US Senate Paul something. He brought that extensive experience and knowledge of financial markets to bear as chair, where together we have worked to further the Commission's mission to protect investors. I think they've done the opposite when it comes to crypto, just my own take. Maintain fair, orderly and efficient markets and facilitate capital formation. Again, they've done the opposite. Although, as Commissioner, we approach policy issues from different perspectives. There was always dignity in our differences. Chair Gensler has been committed to bipartisan engagement and a respectful exchange of ideas, which has helped facilitate our services to the American public. For that, we are deeply grateful. We have finalized rules that have promoted market integrity, etc., etc. So thank you also to the chair's hardworking staff. So he's out. Goodbye, Gensler. And as of right now, I believe Mark is acting chair at the SEC, ultimately preparing for Paul Atkins to take place. And of course, we've looked at some of the crossovers that Paul has with the industry more broadly. Paints a very bullish picture. Let's just go back and listen to what Mark actually has had to say about the SEC's approach with crypto. And then we're going to move on to some interesting things as it relates to the Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency Agency. And on their website, they actually have Dogecoin on the homepage. You're being distracted right now from the real innovations that are coming with distributed ledgers like Hedera, XRP, XLM, etc., etc. I've actually just filmed a video with Vandal from Black Swan Capitalist where we have a great conversation about the industry as a whole, Bitcoin being a distraction and a tool used to usher in a new global financial system. And actually, the likes of XRP's foundings, who was involved, you find Peter Thiel all over the industry. Many of you don't know that Peter Thiel, talking about the crypto industries and his involvement, actually gave Vitalik Buterin in 2014 I think it was $100,000 grant or scholarship or fund. We'll leave a lot of that for the video, but we do want to kind of, I guess, expose some of the, what are we going to call it, deep state involvement in the cryptocurrency space and how none of this is coincidental. But let's, first of all, not get too far off on a tangent. We love you guys and we want you to, knowledge is truly power. Understand what's going on here more broadly. But to kick things off, let's just, or to proceed, let's just listen to what Mark, the acting chair of the SEC, has previously said. He's bullish for the industry.
Mark Ueda. Mark, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks for being here.
Well, it's great to be here.
What is the SEC doing regarding crypto?
Well, I think our policies and our approach for the last several years have been just really a disaster for the whole industry. We have been setting this policy through enforcement. We've done nothing to provide guidance on it. And as a result, this is being shaped by the courts. And different courts have ruled different ways. I think what this Wells notice is, and while I won't comment on the specifics of this litigation, the Wells, what has gone on is part of a broader frustration with the fact that we have not provided interpretive guidance as to what you can and cannot do. And if you are involved in some sort of securities offering, how you register, how you get regulated as a broker-dealer, how you get registered as an exchange.
And you say, moving forward, Mark Ueda,
So I just wanted to play that quickly. Mark Ueda really chiming in. We played that a long time ago on the SEC's approach. He's certainly a more bullish candidate. Let's talk about some other things happening. So despite the Trump agency or the Trump administration not actually mentioning crypto or doing anything as a result of it, I think it's unlikely that they don't, given the fuss that they've made over it. Certainly we know they've been buying up more Chainlink, more ETH, et cetera, et cetera. They should be looking to different kind of US-based cryptos, but I think they're largely trying to perhaps conceal what's going on here more broadly and keep the masses out. But despite all that, breaking the official Department of Government Efficiency, this is from us, website has Dogecoin on its homepage. Yes, this is real, and this is it. The Block also reporting on this, another great publishing house. Doge logo appears on new Department of Government Efficiency website. Yeah, you just wonder, don't you? And how's Dogecoin doing in the mix of all this? Dogecoin it's a chart of beauty for us. We teach phase analysis. This was our phase 1 base, breakout, retest, continuation. This is how you'll enter phase 2. We'll teach you all this, guys, don't worry. I'm actually probably more bullish on Shiba Sheep, which was another great one for us, breakout, retest. And I actually have a potential pattern that we can talk about where this might take you in terms of a price target. I know many of you like memes. We're not against memes. I just think that there's fundamentally more impressive technologies out there that are going to have a bigger impact on the world. But that's not to say memes won't do well and you can make money from them. I've certainly learnt my lesson there in regards to being anti-meme. And we actually called out, who was it? We didn't call out, but we said Jim Bianco was talking about, I can't remember the meme. I think it might be Fartcoin or something like that. And he was saying, yeah, this looks awful. This is going to crash. And did the exact opposite. And we said, look, don't fade the madness of crowds. This is also interesting news. As Coinbase ran out of Solana, transfers between Solana network have been clogged multiple days as users report to 30 hours to receive their tokens, with many unable to withdraw Solana. This is obviously on the back end of the sort of network congestion that we're seeing. This is obviously on the back end of Trump and Melania's meme coins launching. So that's it from me, guys. Another jam-packed daily market update. Hang in there. The broader trajectory of the space is a positive one. If you want to take your journey a step further, become a Patreon. We've got some great miners in there, or a particular miner that we think will give altcoin-like returns. Also some great altcoins that nobody's looking at right now. So do get on board that journey. Go check us out on all the socials. That's it from me, guys. I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.